Yo YouTube, this is my video for today, which is Monday the 1st of July. So my stats are as follows. Based on an average fuel price of 13.83 pence per mile, and having driven today 482 miles, 482, I have worked for 13 hours. I have managed to earn from 3 CX jobs a total of £300. I've spent on fuel exactly, well, at least exactly as I can be, £66 and 66 pence. So £67. That means that I have earned after fuel today £233, 233. So I'm pleased with that. And I'll run through the jobs. So I already had a job booked in from Lincoln to Scunthorpe this morning from last week. It's a job that I accidentally bid on Thursday, and it was actually for Monday. I thought it was for the following day, Friday. So that was a pickup from Lincoln, which is an hour away from where I live, 41 dead miles. It was a long wheelbase van job, and the actual miles for the job itself was 34 miles loaded, and so I managed to get that for £75, so I was pretty pleased with, because that's basically exactly £1 a mile, including from my door to drop-off point. So I left my house at 8:25. The arrival time was requested at 9:30, and I arrived bang on 9:30. It was 2 heavy-ish pallets to take up, so we got those loaded, and I arrived at the other end in Scunthorpe at 10:51, was offloaded and off-site by 2 minutes past 11. So a pretty good start to my day. So now I was looking for a job, and I had about 20 jobs where I was in Scarborough, but most of them were sort of Manchester jobs. There was no, I'm jumping ahead. No. So when I got to Scarborough, I started bidding on jobs, and I got a call at 18 minutes past 11 to offer me a job that I bid on for a long wheelbase van. I was 30 minutes away from pickup in Gainsborough, about 17 dead miles to get there. And my bid, I went quite low. There wasn't a lot of work. There's probably about 3 decent jobs in that area. And because it was a long wheelbase job, because I was going to end up in Leeds, so it's Gainsborough to Leeds, I thought if I just get that quickly and get there, I might have a chance for a good day. So I went lower than I usually would go. I went £1 a mile, 80 loaded miles, £80. And I'll call for that reasonably quickly. The reason I said I did that is because I was going to end up in a good area. £80 is not a bad amount of money to get for a second job of the day, and it was very quiet for other options. There was only 2 other jobs anywhere near me. I think one was Hull, I think the other one might have been sort of Doncaster. Yeah, so it wasn't rich pickings. So I left when I got the call, more or less straight away, and I arrived at the pickup point at 11:54. Got loaded up with it was handballing on my van. Although I stayed in my van and they passed to me. I was basically at a sort of family-sized carpentry firm, and they had 47 wooden bases. I don't know what bases were for. It looked to me like best way to describe them is they look like those old-fashioned wooden horses you had, where people used to saw pieces of wood off with them, like a way of having sort of a bit of support for sawing or nailing bits of wood together. So they weren't those; they were much more ornate. They were basically hand carved or produced wooden bases to something. Yeah, and so we've got a lot of those, but they passed them on to my van, and I just stacked them up and made sure that I struck them all down. And they just about fitted without putting anything on top of each other. So they came in packs of 3, all stacked already and packaged together. And I got 16 of these piles of 3 basically in my van, shut down. So that took a bit of time to get loaded. But I was off site by just before 12:15, and I arrived at Leeds and was finished offloading at 2:05. Again. And this is when I had lots of jobs from Manchester. I was in the Elland area of Leeds. Elland might be its own place, I don't know, but I call it Leeds. So I was at Elland, and there's lots of jobs coming out from Manchester, which is all about 35 minutes away, which is a bit too far. And there was stuff coming out going the wrong direction. I wanted to try something heading towards, ideally, the East Midlands would be what I was looking for. And so, but at 2:15, so only 10 minutes later, I got a call for a bid that I put on, and it was going not to anywhere where I live. It was going from Leeds itself to Enfield, North London. I had a look on the map, and Enfield was quite north. It was only just off the M25, and I thought, well, that's probably the best part of London for me to get to. You're getting out again, because I just need to come back up from there. So I put a bid on. It's a small van job, 179 loaded miles, and I put a reasonably lowish bid on, but one that I was worth doing it for, £145. And the reason why I did that was probably threefold, maybe fourfold. So first of all, although it was going to London, it was going to very north of London, so I wasn't going into anywhere near the centre of London. So that was good. 2, it was quite a long distance in miles, so although it was a small van job, I got a decent amount of money. So even though I went, I think I went about 80p a mile, I think was what the bid was. I haven't worked it out. So even though it was quite low for what I'd like to get, I felt that it was a good amount of money to have. And it made my total earnings for the day around 300. And the third reason was I didn't want to get stuck in that area, sort of heading towards get a job to Manchester or Liverpool, and then arriving there after 5 o'clock and not getting a job back, which is what I've done recently. So there was plenty of work that was heading out of where I was, but it was all going sort of in the wrong direction. So although this was going past my home, it was something I'd done before, sort of 10 miles back from London. It seems okay. And I could see myself, if I wasn't careful, making a decision where I would end up in the wrong part of the country and having to take it back anyway. Now, there was a job going to from Manchester to somewhere in Cornwall, and I almost took that. It was about 270 miles, small van job. And I thought I could go really cheap for that, make a lot of money, and just tramp out overnight. And I would have in the past done that, but I just wanted to get home again. So really, I've kind of changed that kind of way of working. and luckily I got this job to Enfield, so £145. I was happy with that. In the end, it was one pallet going from a manufacturer to another depot. A manufacturer from Normanton, sorry, not Leeds, Normanton, which was 26 dead miles away from where I was, 30 minutes drive. So from Normanton to another depot in Enfield, the same place. So it was an engineering part on a pallet, very heavy, one pallet, but no problem for my van to take. I think it would have probably been a bit of a struggle in some small vans, but anyway, it's by the by. It's fine for my vehicle. So I picked that up from Normanton and I arrived on site at 2:52. Eventually found the only issue I had was I arrived on site and I asked security where to go for a pickup, and they said, "What are you picking up?" I said, "I don't know, but I know it's a pallet." And they said, "Well, it depends on what you're picking up, whether it's foodstuffs or whether it's engineering." So I had to call the shipper and get some information, and she gave me at this point the department, which was engineering, and the name of a person, which was also one of the engineers that the security guard recognised. So it would have been really helpful to have that information on the booking at the start, but I had to make the call and got that in the end. So that's the only thing that went wrong really with this. So it's about, I was off site at 2 minutes past 11, 2 minutes past 3, so I was on site a total for 10 minutes, so it wasn't the end of the world by any means. It didn't make any difference to my day, but it's just one of those things that with a little bit more thought, planning, could just make these things a bit more seamless. So I took that pallet down and I was really pleased because I had a job just basically picked up around about 3 o'clock, and I knew it was going to be the last job of the day, so all I had to do was deliver this and then deadline it home. And when I put the sat nav in, it was showing me as 3.25 hours. 3.5 hours. So I put into my ETA 7 o'clock, and my Google Maps said 6:30 will be when I should arrive. And I drove down, and there wasn't really any traffic problems, and I ended up arriving on site at just gone 6:30. And then what happened? I got to security. I told them I was here to drop off engineering. They tried to call engineering, there's no answer. I was there for about 5 minutes waiting, and then he said, "Just go in, go to the engineering," which he pointed me to. There's no one there, go across to the building. That's for someone. Because he'd tried ringing 3 or 4 times and no one was answering his phone. So reluctantly, because I thought I could be stuck here now, I went in to where he said, and luckily engineering looked to be open, the building, but there was no one there. As I came back out of the building, the guy came over towards me, and he apparently knew I was there. But the only problem was he didn't have access to a forklift. So he went off, when he asked me what it was, he went off and tried to find someone with a forklift. And after a bit of coming and going, at just gone 7 o'clock, I was just ringing the shipper to say it's been half an hour. As I was on the phone, in the distance, this little forklift driver came up the lane from the other side of the factory to take off my van. So technically speaking, I was waiting for probably 40 minutes by the time I got offloaded and podded it. But I didn't bother ringing back the shipper and asking for any more money. I was just really pleased that finally someone came and took off the pallet. So I was off site at 7:15, having arrived at just gone 6:30. And then it's 2 hours back to my house, exactly 100 miles, and then I'm home for the night. I haven't yet got a job for the morning. There's a couple of bids on, but they've not been accepted yet, so I might have to bid in the morning for some work. So that was my day. No dramas, quite simple. 3 jobs of sort of £70, £75, £80, £145. But basically, the lesson I'm taking from this is, because I'm prepared to deadmine it from London home, which isn't ideal, but it's, in the summer at least, it's alright. It gives me the option to get that last job to London, and if I just focus on North London, I think sort of north of the M25 or thereabouts, or the North Circular, then I should avoid the worst of the issues going to London. So today is kind of worked out. I don't mind today. 13 hours work in total, 3 jobs, very easy work, and it's made target plus a bit. So I'm happy with that. I could do this every day, and I could do some living. Even though it's not a great hourly rate, it's enough money for me to live off. But it won't be like this every day, I know it won't. So we'll just have to make the most of it while it is. Right, I think that's all really. Nothing else I want to talk about. Oh yeah, well, one last quick thing. Just an observation that I had today. At 2 o'clock today, I was quite tired again. It's happening every day. About 2 o'clock, I get really tired. Today was quite bad. I was sort of having to open the window. But then once I've got to eat a bit of food and get over that bit of a hump, sort of this time of the day, I'm all right. I'm a bit tired. I was yawning a bit. I don't feel it in my bones yet. So I do need to be mindful about being tired when I'm on the road, but yes, yeah, so 2 o'clock afternoon tiredness is kind of almost a daily thing now. So just an observation. Right, let's move on then. So I hope that you are being successful, however you choose to define that word for yourselves. I'm looking to get a good weekend, so I'm not working Thursday. Got a few things to sort out. And I'm sure it is the right day this week. So I've got 3 days to work, two more days to work, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday. And I'm trying those 4 days, trying really get some decent figures under my belt. So thank you for listening to my video. I've got no idea what I'm going to call this. And farewell, friends.